getting ready for a trip to Bali and thinking about how you're going to stay connected while you're there, this is something worth sorting out ahead of time because once you arrive, you end up relying on your phone for almost everything. Directions, ride apps, checking into your hotel, and staying in touch with family and friends back at home. Public Wi-Fi can be unreliable, and trying to find a decent connection right after you land isn't ideal, especially when you're tired and just trying to get where you're going. So in this video, I'll be talking about Saily, an eSIM I've been using for international travel, and I'll walk you through how it works, what it does well, and whether it actually makes sense for staying connected in Bali without overcomplicating things. Alright, so Saily is a digital eSIM service built by Nord Security, which is the same company behind NordVPN, and the reason that matters is that this isn't just about getting data, it's also built with privacy and security in mind, which is something a lot of basic travel SIMs don't really focus on. Saily also has options for mobile data in over 200 countries. Now when it comes to setting it up, everything runs through the app. You choose your destination, and for Bali you'd select Indonesia, since Bali falls under that. Then pick the plan that fits your trip and follow the in-app steps to install the eSIM on your phone. It's something you can and should do ahead of time while you're still at home and connected to Wi-Fi. Once that's done, the eSIM activates automatically when you arrive at your destination and connects to a local network. So instead of dealing with the setup after you land, your phone is ready to go as soon as you turn it on. And hey, if you decide to try out Saily, I've got an exclusive 15% off discount for you. Just use the code GVUTech at checkout when downloading the Saily app or visiting Saily's website. Now, Saily doesn't just get you online, it actually helps protect your data while you're browsing. For starters, there's an ad blocker built in, which cuts down on annoying pop-ups and trackers that follow you across websites. I noticed pages loaded faster, and I wasn't constantly being spammed with ads after Googling something once. It's also a nice way to save on data since fewer scripts are loading in the background. There's also web protection, which blocks dangerous websites before they can load. That's been super helpful when using sketchy public Wi-Fi at airports or cafes, especially when logging into personal accounts. And finally, virtual location routing masks your real IP address, which is kind of like a lightweight VPN. It's great if you want an extra layer of privacy or need to access content that's restricted in the country you're visiting. I used it on a trip to Italy to stream shows from back home, and it worked surprisingly well. No buffering and no weird setup. On top of that, the app also gives you a heads up when you've used about 80% of your data, which I found really helpful on longer trips. It just makes it easier to stay ahead of things without checking manually. And if you've got any questions, there's a 24/7 live chat right in the app, but like anything, there are a couple of things to keep in mind. For example, Saily is data only, so calls and texts run through apps like WhatsApp, FaceTime, or Telegram. But that's already how I communicate most of the time anyway, so it really didn't bother me. You do also need to make sure that your phone supports eSIMs. Most newer phones do, but it's something worth checking before you buy it. Alright, so that's all well and good, but how much does Saily cost? So when it comes to pricing, Saily keeps things pretty reasonable and flexible. For Indonesia, plans start at just under $5 for a small amount of data, which works fine if you mostly need maps, messages, and basic browsing during a short stay. If you're there a bit longer, most people end up in the mid-range plans. Those cost around $9 to $14 for the month and give you enough data to use your phone normally without constantly checking your usage. On longer trips, I usually lean toward one of the larger plans in the 10 to 20 gigabyte range, which come out to roughly $22 and under $36 respectively for the month. That's been more than enough for things like Google Maps, ride apps, messaging hotels, looking things up, and just staying connected throughout the day. And if you don't want to think about data limits at all, Saily also offers unlimited plans for Indonesia. They start at around $19 for 5 days, with longer options going up to just under $72 for a full month. So you can use your phone normally without stressing about running out of data. They also offer regional plans that cover entire areas like Asia, which is useful if you're moving between countries and don't want to switch plans every time you cross a border. It's one setup that keeps working as you go. And everything's prepaid, so you're only paying for what you need. No subscriptions, no renewals, and no surprises. So here's the big picture if you're traveling to Bali anytime soon, and like having your data set up ahead of time, and you would rather not deal with SIM cards or figuring things out after you land, in my opinion, Saily is a great option. And again, if you want to try it, there's an affiliate link in the description, and you can use my code GVUTech at checkout for 15% off. And of course, if you've got any questions about using an eSIM in Bali, feel free to drop those in the comments. I always try to get back to as many as I can. Otherwise, thanks so much for watching, safe travels, and I'll see you in the next video.